Greetings, travelers. We're doing our paint job here in St. Petersburg. Let's see what we got going on here. We're finding out that the bottom half of the house needs most of the prep. The upper part of the house, the paint is holding nice and tight. So that's going to get washed and painted. But the prep is mostly on the bottom, scraping the paint away, even the bricks in the bottom. Scraping and sanding and pressure washing. Let me show you what's going on over here. Okay, a little extra prep on these windows. These are old and they're not going to replace the windows for a while, so we're going to prep them and paint them. Here's a couple little tips. We got the, oh boy. This gap here needs to be cleaned and filled. Wood filler, Bondo, something. And we have some pretty old glazing. One thing you can do on the glazing is adjust the camera. Take your putty knife, go sideways down the glass, give it some taps, and that pulls out the glazing. Now you can also take your utility knife, set that in there, and she comes right out. Try to stay off the glass. Don't be banging on the glass. Then, see, here's a push point right there, and it's totally gone. So we want to replace that push point. Probably one here, one here. This area needs to be cleaned and sanded and primed. I like to put some primer on this raw wood. Once I get this sanded down, I want some primer on this wood and a little bit on the glass. You'll actually get some paint under the glass in that crack. It seals it nice. Let that dry, and then your putty, your glazing will stick better than if you put glazing right on this dirty, dusty wood. So we'll do that. Do some scraping. Now these are old windowsills. Have this little screw and the knob. That's what held the screen on, and that was mounted on the sill. There's one mounted there. Excuse me. Then one mounted over here. Unscrew them and get rid of them. Because if they want to do screens again, there'll be a different way of mounting them. These things just get in the way. Get in the way. Scraping. We'll fill that. Some wood filler. Sand it. Prepping we will go. Now another thing, a little tip is when you're prepping like this, get your drop cloth. Get your drop cloth right up against the building. You see all those bits of paint and scraping and stuff? See, when you pull back, there's no paint chips in the dirt. Keep your dirt clean. It's got a little breezy today. It's got 77 degrees, 68 at night, 64 at night. If you don't clean, if you don't tarp for your paint chips, you get this. Now, I wasn't here for this, but who's going to clean up those paint chips? Not good. Don't leave paint chips. We have another little section I'll show you. A little more detail. This, excuse me. Now, the design of this house has a little wooden drip edge. Call that a drip edge. It's about 1.5 inches deep, 3/4 inch thick to an inch, and it's tucked down under the last piece of siding. Water comes down, hits this, rolls off, and hits the ground. Well, upon further inspection, you go over here, you start scraping, and the painters are going to find these things. They're going to have to call in the carpenter. Here, the drip edge is rotten all the way in. See, it's split. So we'll come back to where it's nice and firm. Somewhere like in here. It's solid here. We'll make a cut. And from here that way, we'll put in a new piece of wood. And you're not going to find that wood piece at Home Depot, so it will have to be made with a table saw. 10-foot piece. With a dog walker. They like to walk by the dog, Dottie, and stop. I don't know why. They just like to stop by the van. We had the cops here yesterday. Someone like this will go home and call the cops because the dog is barking. That's Dottie's job. She gets in the van and she barks when people come by, especially with dogs. But these people think that this dog is in distress, so they'll call the cops. And cops have to come to every call. And first time they came out, very aggressive, giving me a lecture about dogs in the car. There's 3 rules about dogs in the car in this county, and Florida in general. They have to have air. You see the vent and the windows are open. They need water. She's got water. And they have to be able to move around. They can't be pinned in a little cage or tied to the floor. They got to be able to move around. So yesterday we had again, something like that. So, a lady walks by with her dogs, goes home, calls the cops. You can call anonymously, and that's the end of the call. They don't come back to find out what's going on. They just call the cops, and the cops come. And officer came out with his partner. We had 2 on foot and 1 in the car. And the officer was very nice. He came up, he looked at the dog, he looked at the van, he saw the water in there. He said, "You're good to go. Everything's fine here." And they left. Have a nice day. And that was professional. Very well done. So we have permission to be here. We're cool with the cops. Local dog walkers in the neighborhood are not very cool on the old 95 Chevy van from Mississippi with a barking wild pit bull. But we're following the rules as we work on this project. We're here for a week or 10 days or something, then we'll be heading out. All right, that's your tip of the day. And make sure you put your tarp down here and collect all your chips. Don't leave a mess, okay? All right, it's your Coastal. See you.